do not overcomplicate this, okay? It doesn't have to be a difficult and lengthy process. Really great lead magnets that solve a really great problem can be a one-page checklist. One of the most valuable lead magnets I ever received was a one-page checklist. And it was just enough information presented in just the way I needed it to kick my butt into gear. And that was a thing. That was one of the things that helped get me over into six figures, right? And then literally the lead magnet that got me into multi six figure uh, was a masterclass, and it was free, and it was a lead magnet. It was awesome, right? So what are you doing to actually solve these problems? And I want you to look also at leveraging other people's audiences, because this is the third thing, and this is hugely important. Okay. Leveraging other people's audiences is going to be the absolute key to growth. Now, we've talked about you being on summits and bundles and building community, and that is leveraging other people's audiences, but it's also about exposure. Okay. Leveraging other people's audiences is going to be about podcasting. If you don't have your own podcast, get on other people's podcasts. Apply like crazy. Do it really, really authentically. Honestly, I obviously have a podcast, and if I get copy paste, email saying, "Hey, I think I'd be a great guest on your podcast," I can tell. I can tell they're just copy paste. And I know they haven't listened to Acquire. I know they have no idea who I am or what I do, and they don't care. It's just literally a spray and pray approach. And I hate that approach, and I don't recommend you do it. Please don't do it. But definitely reach out to podcasts that are within your niche, that speak to the thing that you want to speak to, that have your ideal client in the audience, and then do that. Offer podcast swaps. If you have a podcast, offer podcast swaps. A recent summit that I did for my client, Dustin, we had a kickoff call with all of our speakers, and we did a big, and this is something I do for a lot of my clients. I did a big networking opportunity, a big networking event. And all of the experts were like, yeah, I want to be on this podcast, and I want to be on this podcast. And I was moderating and running this kickoff. And I had this big spreadsheet where everybody put their information and started planning podcast swaps. Okay. Super good stuff. The other thing that people did said, I would come into your Facebook group and teach your audience. And then other people, I'll come into your Facebook group and teach your audience. So you get these really great community swaps as well. So look at those. Now, I know this is going to seem really, maybe mid 2000s, but guest blogging and email swaps still work.